boys and girls, it's time to nerd fight!
Step into the ring, it's time to brawl. Nerd fights, baby, we're geeking for all. Marvel, DC, Trek, and more.
Fire.
Pop culture battles, settle the score. Nerd fights, let's get loud. Nerd fights, yeah, for the geeky crowd. Nerd fights, hey, it's time to throw down. Bring your fandom, it's the hottest showdown. Who's got the takes? Who's got the heat? Mr. Know-It-All and Salty can't be beat.
That means only one thing. It's time to fight.
Beat drops out with the final shot.
Nerd Fights.
Let's fight!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nerd Fights. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. Know-It-All, and joining me is the captain of this starship, Salty Trekker. Sir, I love the flowing locks. What's going on? I swear, you look like you're about to. I feel like you're about to hand down the judgment of Duras. You're like with this.
The judgment of Duras. Duras was
like
a traitor.
You need this like leather. That's what I'm saying. You're handing judgment down onto Duras.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for the leather like jacket cape to go over the shoulder.
You are hereby sentenced to repentance.
That's it. Totally. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, it's not rap. It's an intro. Intro's always got away with stuff. Look at Gilligan's Island. Let's go. Anyways, so this is the weekend. That means it's open mic. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And actually, Salty and I were hip deep and starting to talk about something. And I was like, whoa, time out. Let's save this for the show. So go ahead. You just told me some information I didn't know.
So yes, let me bring the article back up that I had.
What's going on, Melphis?
Of course, I closed that. Oh, here it is. Okay. No, not an ad for Samsung. So, Brad Winderbaum.
Oh yeah, the head of the.
He's the head of Marvel Television.
Yeah.
So he's basically the TV sides. He answers to Kevin Feige.
Correct. He oversees the TV stuff.
Right. So he is basically now hinting very strongly that they are working on bringing back the Defenders, and from the sound of it, it's obviously he says they have no intention of doing like some big scale thing, like some Avengers level event. We're talking about basically keeping it street level.
Okay.
And their version of Thanos.
Is this it? Is this it right here?
I don't know if that's this. Yeah. Well, this is this is one of the stories I was looking at, but yeah, their version of Thanos would basically be like Kingpin.
Oh, okay.
So Vincent D'Onofrio would be the big bad for the entire Defenders universe.
I mean, I guess I could see that, I suppose.
Yeah. And now my thing is like you were commenting before we got started that, okay, the Defenders was okay. It was because the thing, like everybody knows, like Daredevil was off the chain, excellent. I don't know of anybody that really hated the Daredevil series.
Melphis, yes, he is starting to look like. He goes, "Is it just me or is Salty starting to look like Core?"
That
was sort of the joke at the beginning. I'm sorry. Go on. I apologize.
So nobody. I don't think anybody really hated Daredevil, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to Daredevil Born Again.
Absolutely. Even the Disney haters are like, "This looks good."
Yeah. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage also got pretty warm receptions, as did Punisher, but it was really Iron Fist that was the lemon of the group, and then the Defenders.
Iron Fist season 2 was not bad. Iron Fist season 2, because Iron Fist season 2 came after the Defenders.
Right.
So
I would say Iron
able
Fist
to actually have
better.
Yeah, they were actually able to have like choreography and time spent, and they didn't get any of that in the first one. And what I said before was that it was half-baked, not because it was bad, like a half-baked idea, but more like it was half-cooked. It was half-finished. Because the first part where you get the Defenders together and they're having that dinner in the Chinese restaurant and all this stuff, that felt very tight. And then toward the end, when it was Elektra with that like immortality black goo stuff and then blowing up the building, that stuff felt fake. Right. Blowing up the building looked like a CGI explosion blowing up building that I could do at home. It didn't look very good at all.
Right. They didn't put enough time into the show. And like you said, they were making Defenders and Luke Cage, or Iron Fist at the same time,
Yeah,
and so they had to choose one or the other for certain things, and they unfortunately they should have just chose to do one show and then do the other show.
I agree. I agree absolutely. Yeah, that
So
was a big shortcoming on their part.
that being said, with Feige's new and improved design philosophy for the MCU, I would say that would hopefully make for a better Defenders than what we got on Netflix.
Yeah, I could see that. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Right. That and the idea that this is, that they're not going to go, big Thanos level stuff. They're gonna keep it on the streets. You're not going to suddenly see Defenders Endgame or some crap like that.
Let's go. Defenders Endgame, I'm down.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it's funny because I remember people literally screaming in the theater when they saw, Matt Murdock in Spider-Man. When with Spider-Man No Way Home, and all it was a cameo that he's his attorney. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
he's his attorney, and that was huge because then everybody, especially because he does the thing that he's apparently been doing a lot, which is, what kind of attorney are you? A good one.
Yeah.
And he catches the brick that was probably more of a snow globe.
Yeah. So I like the idea that they could do some more crossover. They have also officially canonized all the prior Netflix shows.
Right on. I hear you.
So basically, all the Marvel
Feige.
Netflix shows that led up to Defenders are considered canon now
Okay.
in the MCU.
All right. Well, I mean, hey, there are worse things that can be done, and I feel like it's a good thing that they're doing it.
Yeah.
I did yesterday. I recorded a ranking of the MCU for a guy named Zero to Hero, and it made me think of the ones we do, and we probably should do our own ranking. Because I know for a fact you'd have different votes on some of the movies, and it was strictly the movies. And I remember thinking to myself, man, there's at some point or another, you had too many things that were attached to other that required homework. And so that's
Right.
my big fear, is that how do you do this thing and not require homework? For instance, how do you do New York and not bring Spider-Man? How do you do, on any level, especially when Spider-Man has interacted very much with the Defenders, with Heroes for Hire, with Luke Cage. I feel like there's a world in which at some point,
I could see Spider-Man showing up as like a guest star,
sure.
as long as it doesn't become the Spider-Man show.
No, yeah, no, just have him do a cameo where he's almost like, hey, so are you guys okay? And he's like, yeah, we got this. You're good. We can take care of this. I think that would be cool, especially if you can have especially because we don't know who Peter is. So have them continue to not know who Peter is.
Right.
I mean, like you don't even need Tom Holland. Have him just be Spider-Man. I could totally go for that and just have Tom Holland voice it even. I mean, I'm like, there's ways to do this, is my point.
Well, and the thing is, like, given the plot that we do know from Born Again, where Kingpin is becoming mayor,
Yeah.
and further that it looks like Kingpin is looking to enlist Daredevil's help for protection. They could even throw in a little throwaway line like, well, I was going to try to get that spider freak, but he wasn't. Nobody knows who he is.
You know what you do if you're smart? Here's what you do, and I would love to see this. Have Kingpin either at the end of this or something in the run up to Daredevil, or not Daredevil, run up to Defenders. Have him start his anti-hero campaign to outlaw superheroes for the safety of New York.
Right.
Because that's a big part of the comic book story in the comics. And what you do is have the Defenders be trying to defend against something while they're having to fight two fronts, because
Right.
they're trying to save New York. He's trying to stop them from being a big part of it. So the only ending solution that ends up happening, at least that's the campaign he's running on, but he's got nobody to run against. So it's almost a shoe-in. That's when you have Luke Cage decide to run for mayor also. And now you do the runoff between him and until eventually you get Luke, because Luke Cage is the current mayor of New York in Marvel Comics. Currently,
Okay.
he beat Kingpin, and I'm telling you that would be a massive, massive storyline, because it would almost dovetail. See, when they announced all this, the guys who were part of the creative team for Luke Cage came out on X and were they put all kinds of material out. They were like, "Hey, we were going to do 47 Yorktown TOS Klingon Santa." Way to go, man. But they were like, yeah, we were the next season of Luke Cage, had it not gotten canceled, they were going to do, there was a whole storyline where Luke Cage becomes the only way to beat the city and make Harlem safe is for him to become the head of the crime, the head of the groups, the gangs and stuff in Harlem. And so they were going to do that whole storyline, and it ended up never happening. It never coming to fruition. And apparently they had like storyboards and scripts break. They had it all ready to go.
So, is this just a coincidence? You were saying Luke Cage is currently the mayor of New York, when this is in fact the mayor of New York.
Can you imagine? Oh my god, that'd be awesome. I don't even know if that's like. I mean, yeah, no, it's good. I love that. That's really great.
Just saying, it's
you can see. You're like I could see your point, sir. I see your drift for sure. I could see Luke Cage, but apparently, yeah.
I'm not saying they look alike. Don't.
He wears.
I mean, Michael Colton is a way better looking guy. So.
For real, for sure.
But no, I could definitely see them doing some stuff. Now, okay, here's a great way to put in a blink and you'll miss it cameo. All right. One that most people will completely miss. No speaking lines.
Okay.
So you know how it's very, very Hollywood tropey that whenever a embattled political figure or whatever comes out of a building, there's always the press.
Oh, sure.
Right. So you have one of the photographers be Peter Parker.
Okay. That would be good. I
That's
can see that.
And just not even say anything. Like, don't zoom in on his face. You just have Tom Holland there holding the camera.
That's awesome. It just you could almost be like, Tom, can we have permission to just deep fake you for this one moment? We'll pay you and everything. We don't even have to comment. We're just going to show somebody seeing you and because the internet would catch it so fast. They'd be like, that was him. And he'd be like, I'm just talking about I wasn't there. Of course, I would never be like, oh, they used his likeness without his permission. You'd have to come out and be like, no, it was cool. I totally did it. I was playing around. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what they're coming up with. Oh, on the heels of Wednesday's Nerd Fights, they came out with artwork for the apparently next season 2 of Spider-Man, of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay.
Gwen Stacy's joining, and artwork for Spider-Gwen. So apparently in this universe, we're going to get a Spider-Gwen in the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, because remember when Spider-Man's friend, like people cast, you should just be normal people. And now everybody's got to have the super.
When I heard about Spider-Gwen, that was one of those roll my eye kind of moments. Do we really?
Beth used to be so important. Her and Bucky were the two people that comics used to say will never come back, and they've literally brought them both back. Oh yeah, somebody said So someone made a great assertion. The comic books are now the actual 616 are now promoting the return of Gwen Stacy. She's coming back from the dead somehow. They're giving her a monthly series, as Spider-Gwen is actually getting a monthly series. There's certain things that are happening, and some guy goes, "Do you guys not realize how to read the tea leaves? We're gonna get Spider-Gwen in the MCU, because the last time they did something like this for an obscure character, we ended up getting them in the MCU. Like that's how this works. They hire people to put out.
I think that's a mistake.
I 100% think it's a mistake. I'm with.
I think Marvel is trying desperately to find girl characters to put front and center. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with girl characters, but Spider-Gwen ain't a great character. Like, if you want a great female character, bring in Phoenix, right? Granted, Phoenix has kind of a short lifespan, but at the same time, there's a great character. Storm is a great character. So when X-Men gets going, they have a few options.
Oh, haven't you heard? They're going to be doing. Apparently, they have confirmed that they are currently in development of a Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters uh, show, and it's going to be all about the young people who attend Xavier's.
See, I don't want one. I'm so done with super babies. I don't want super babies.
I love Super Babies. The way you said that. Not that I love Super. I love that. That's funny. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's like, look, why are you guys spending so much time, money, and effort on everything that isn't the main thing?
Because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be discount New Mutants.
It is. Hey, Penny.
And hey, how you doing, Miss Moneypenny? So, and I don't want discount New Mutants. If you're going to do New Mutants, just do New Mutants and do them right. Don't do that stupid movie. But in order to do the New Mutants, you have to have the old mutants first. You know,
that's right. You have to have the old mutants first. True story.
So, you know, if you want to do something featuring Charles Xavier's school, you bring in the original first class of X-Men. So
make it a period thing if you want, even, and literally have it be he's recruited them. Now, mind you, people are going to say, "Well, we got that in the First Class movie." Kind of, but I don't know
that wasn't the right team. I mean, the costumes were pretty good.
Yeah, Banshee shouldn't have been there. It should have literally just been Beast, Iceman, Storm, or not Storm. Beast Iceman,
was the only one.
No, yeah, and Cyclops and Jean in them, but yeah.
No, Cyclops and Jean weren't there in X-Men.
They were part of the not First Class. They're part of the original X-Men though in the comics. I'm talking
but that's what I'm saying. Like
the Beast, original comic book team, and you're good.
Right, Beast was the only one, I believe. I'm trying to remember First Class now. It's such a forgettable movie. I'm sorry.
You didn't like Kevin Bacon?
Well, okay. Kevin Bacon is now canonized in the MCU as Kevin Bacon. We don't need.
For sure. No, you're real. That's real. You're real for that.
I'm sorry. The X-Men movies, in my opinion, were crap. I don't like. I mean, some of them are less crappy than others, but none of them are good.
When I was reading the Ultimate X-Men comics back in the day, and the movie came out, I was like, "Oh, look, it's the Ultimate X-Men universe. What they're doing," and I knew that. Then they kind of sort of tried to marry a lot of things together, and it was just, I don't know, it just was all over the place.
Right. But yeah, I'm just, you know, like Fantastic Four looks like they're trying to embrace classic Marvel cheese.
Right.
And so let's do that. You know, so let's bring in, a bunch of 20-year-old teenagers because that's what the X-Men were, and have the real First Class, not the pretend First Class. And then, hey, let's have them kidnapped by a freaking living island and
Krakoa,
bring in the Uncanny X-Men.
That would be amazing. Like, literally, that would be so amazing. It's even you're talking fantasy, mind you. We've gotten a ton of fantasy really well. So I'm just like, but give us this fantasy we actually want, because I know that we're not the only people in the world who want this.
Well, and that's the funny thing, because like, this is a common theme with a lot of franchises. Like, I don't believe in franchise fatigue. I believe in crap fatigue.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, and so I don't think that people don't want good Star Trek. They just don't want bad Star Trek.
Right. Well, what do you think? So Mrs. Know-It-All and I we were gonna do a video, and she decided that she didn't feel like she could contribute enough to the idea, because she hasn't really been keeping up with some of this stuff. Let's have a quick discussion. Right now, it looks like Marvel is trying hard to get on a positive trajectory. I think they're having a bit of a rocky opportunity. I think Fantastic Four is going to be vastly more important than most people think. I think Fantastic Four must absolutely hit. Otherwise, they're going to have some major issues, because they need to build momentum to make Doom matter and not feel incidental, and to eventually make Secret Wars actually important. Now, on the flip side, you have DC, who tanked for a while and if they have any difficulty getting any kind of momentum because people had lost complete faith. Now James Gunn looks like he's building momentum with Superman and some of the other things that are coming out. A lot of momentum is being built. The reception, believe it or not, was far better for Creature Commandos than people think, so much so they are kicking into high gear getting season 2 done, and they're like, we want this out. They're fast tracking it as much as possible. Not about quality, but just like we're not cutting corners, but at the same time they're like Tony Stark said, they're skipping the spinning rims and tires,
Right.
trying to get the thing out. And so like there's momentum. I said to someone online recently, it's just DC's time. And I think we're going to enter a renaissance of DC being as big as Marvel had been. While Marvel's going to struggle for a bit until they re-earn our respect.
I don't know if I have that much faith in Gunn.
Really? But the thing is, why not? Other than if you have personal issues, the man's not failed.
No, I'm not saying
He has failed once.
I'm not calling him a failure. Don't misunderstand me.
All right.
I'm not saying, and I'm certainly not calling him a bad filmmaker.
Gorilla Censor Thought says Kapla.
Hey, Gorilla. So what I'm saying is that if you look at, okay, so the Suicide Squad and Creature Commandos were just basically R-rated Guardians of the Galaxy. They were well done.
I feel
but
like
they were
that's
the
awfully
same basic.
productive.
Huh?
They were not either. Guardians was not as raw as Creature Commando.
Exactly. It was R-rated.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like that's so reductive.
But it was a
Especially
similar
because
type
everything
of, it was a similar type of humor.
Superman.
It was a
Everything-
similar type
yeah.
of team construction. And
How is it a similar type of team construction?
misfits? That's what he does. He does misfits. Everything he's done has been misfits. And don't get me wrong, there's a place for misfits, but I'm hoping we don't. I don't know because we don't really have a story trailer.
I feel like that's so reductive. I feel like at the end of the day, bottom line is this: no matter what people want to say, it was successful. They were successful. Now, if you're going to sit here and go, and was just successful because they were
no. You missed again. You're missing
style. I'm sorry. Did nobody see the trailers for Superman?
Look,
That is a total different tone.
Hold on.
Style. Hold on a second.
I
You gotta
said
make
we.
your point. I'm trying to make mine now. Give me 2 seconds. You literally have to sit here. What is the? I need to know where you're coming from because to me that sounds horribly reductive with very little backing it, other than the opinion of. And by the way, so what? So what? I'm not talking about the style. You want to sit here and go, well, it's the style of the thing. And I feel you got Superman trailers that tell you it's completely different, tone, sound, everything. But we want to discount that. That's not important to the story. That's not important to the narrative you're painting. So now we've got only misfits. No, only success. How about that? Only success. They have been successful.
I don't see that big a difference between Guardians and Creature Commandos and the Suicide Squad. Now, as far as Superman,
Nerd Fights on the TV and Moses popped up on the screen. you see Penny coming in hardcore with the. Don't change the way you look great. Don't listen.
Now, as far as Superman is concerned, look. In fairness, we haven't seen Superman yet, so I'm not. So
let's use your let's use your examples. Trailer or teaser for Guardians, trailer or teaser for Creature Commando, trailer or teaser for The Suicide Squad, trailer and look at those things compared to the trailer teaser for Superman.
Right.
There is a complete tone difference in.
But we've only seen a teaser for Superman.
But so what? It was something that came out from James Gunn, so let's go pound for pound, teaser for teaser. They don't.
But you know what? A lot, and this is where I think some of the concern, and I'm not panicked or anything, but I can understand the concern where people are like, there's an awful lot of other hero characters for a movie called Superman, and especially since we haven't even seen all the hero characters yet. Since apparently Supergirl's going to be in it too now, and I mean,
I believe she's in the end credit scene. I don't think she's actually in it.
Well, I don't know.
They brought her in when they were doing the reshoots for it. That was when what's her face was spotted on set.
Right.
That's how that leaked.
But all that being said, that is a legitimate concern because in Man of Steel, you know what we didn't have? Batman, and we didn't have Green Lantern, and we didn't have
you know what else we didn't have? Any other superheroes were actually part of the world. Batman's the only person who had a history, and that was implied.
But you know what? but just because they exist doesn't mean they should. I mean, if they're putting them front and center in the teaser, now who knows? Maybe it's going to be like Red Hulk. They're in 5 minutes of the movie, and they're just putting them in way too much of the marketing.
When you way too much of the marketing, they're in literally 2 scenes. They're in 2
Right,
scenes.
but
They're
well,
flying
we've
fighting
only
this
seen
giant
we
monster
haven't
thing
seen a complete
because
scene
Lex.
from this movie.
No, but they work. They're heroes for hire. They're working for somebody else who's trying to muscle in at the time and do some, that. We know that much of the story because of the uniforms they're wearing. That have
We just know that they're a team. That's all.
That's
we
right,
know.
but they aren't normally. Meaning this is something different and unique, and it may be one of the other obstacles that he's having to overcome and deal with. My point is not even. The thing is this: I've no offense, and again I go into it. Nothing he's done with multiple characters has ever felt like there were too many characters, and there's been tons of them and everything.
I understand, but Superman is not a team movie. It's a solo
No
film.
one's saying it is. What I'm trying
I
to
know,
say
but
is the characters are all part of a living, breathing universe. The one thing I've always hated
Well,
is when people try to pretend that stuff doesn't exist. When you look at the MCU, the long line of MCU shows, or not shows, forgive me, the movies, one of the things I really liked was later on you get into movies where they begin to feel when you saw the Spider-Man, not Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, you saw Toombs, the Vulture, had a company that was responsible for cleaning up after the New York stuff, and that was ended up what you began to see was the greater MCU had ripples that were being felt, and that's something that falls off later, obviously with Eternals, and we don't see that thing that's literally this giant thing in the ocean for a ton of movies, but that's sort of how things should feel.
Sure.
Having a character and having a universe in which we clearly can see. I'm sorry, because how many times did we watch stuff and go, why was nobody else called in?
Oh no, I get that, and I'm not saying again. James Gunn is a good filmmaker. I enjoyed. Granted, I think that I prefer the PG-13 flavor than the R-rated flavor that you get from Creature Commandos and the Suicide Squad. But
Peacemaker also.
yeah, and well, I watched like one episode of Peacemaker. I don't want all my superheroes to be R-rated. And I know Superman will never be R-rated, at least not in any world that makes any kind of sense. But I'm hoping that Superman establishes the new norm, not that Superman is the unusual, he's the one PG guy in an R-rated universe. I'll be very concerned if, say whatever his next project, when we actually start seeing some stuff from it, turns out to be another R-rated project. Because so far, of his 3 DC projects, 2 have been R-rated. And hey, Yosef, good to see you, buddy. I have not seen you in forever. Yosef, by the way, is a resident of Slovakia. And
Really?
yes, and should be. It's the random menace in the chat.
Right on.
And he has the voice that should be Victor Von Doom. And I'm not even kidding. Oh my gosh, he has got the perfect Doctor Doom voice.
That's awesome. I love it.
And so, yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, good to see you, sir. Good to meet you. I can't wait to hear your voice someday. My whole thing is, look, as far as I'm concerned, the thing is, I keep hearing so much doubt. And my problem is this: I don't care what your doubts are. The man hasn't failed. We have zero things to sit here and go, it's going to fail because he hasn't done it yet. Do you know what the Christmas special felt like? The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special? It felt like a Christmas special. Yes, there were Guardians characters, but it felt like a Christmas special. And all the bells and whistles.
But notice, what did I say? I didn't say I think Superman's going to suck. I said I don't know that Gunn has what it takes to run an entire cinematic universe.
My problem is this: Gunn hasn't failed in anything he's done thus far. Now, when you start seeing him failing left and right, when we start seeing mistakes and missteps like it's happening right now under Kevin Feige, I get it. I will totally acknowledge that. Right. But until such time as the man fails, as far as I'm concerned, and Gunn I trust because he's only winning. The guy's only been successes. Now I understand that it can be difficult to accept when things seem like they're winning day to day. I get it. But sometimes all we got to do is poke. We want to just poke at the bear. And I'm telling you right now, James Gunn is a guy who knows how to carry success well. He understands the assignment. The man, he's got a track record that only begs for us to sit here and go, yeah, man, rock on, do your thing, go cook. And he's going to cook.
Let's see.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking at. Well, okay, here's a fail from him. Movie 43.
What is movie 43?
Oh, you've never seen Movie 43?
No, what is that?
Oh, it's one of the worst movies ever made. And
43.
It features picture Hugh Jackman with testicles hanging from his chin. Actual scene from the movie. And like that's the whole point of the scene. But I'm not sure which he wrote Beazle. I don't remember which one was Beazle. Oh man. And I've never seen
I've never even seen this before.
Oh, it's so bad.
Wow.
It's like it's supposed to be like a return to the anthology comedy like Kentucky Fried Movie kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And but it was just the entire movie was just cringeworthy.
Very nice.
Let's see.
And also, when was that?
2013.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Movie 43 must not have gotten a whole lot of news.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Beazle was the cat.
Beazle was the cat.
Yeah. So I'll send you a link here. Oops, I put it in the public chat by accident, but there you go. And so, yeah, it's definitely something.
Huh.
So yeah, if I'm,
I don't know. There must be a Renfest happening. What's going on, Robert? Robert goes, "Hey there, today, Salty Trigger, Mr. Know-It-All. Where's everyone? Probably out there enjoying."
maybe because somebody was late, you know.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, those of us who have jobs have to friggin' have meetings on Saturdays. What kind of ridiculous crap is that? Yeah, I was not. I hate. We've never had a meeting on a Saturday before, and it really bothered me. I was like, whatever, man. And I even told, I showed up like this. They were like, "Where are you?" And I said, "This is my YouTube set." And they're like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, this is my YouTube set."
So yeah, Beazle is a scene from the movie, just to show you this little clip here, in which Beazle's an animated cat in a real live world, and you see Beazle's fantasizing about this guy
I've
ramming.
never seen this before.
Huh?
I've never seen this before.
Yeah. And so yeah, the cat is fantasizing about the man ramming his tongue down its throat, and that's one of the, all sorts of zany antics.
Okay.
Yeah. So just
Robert says I was watching Jacob's Tent, so here and now. I was like, okay.
But yeah, that's Beazle.
Nice.
Knock yourself out. So there's
I've never seen that before. Again, I don't even know to count that because I've never even seen that before. I don't even know how many people have seen that before. I did look up that apparently that was really polarizing, and I found a description about it. And people, there's like, I guess it's got a cult following.
Movie 43.
Yeah, it's got a cult following apparently, but at the same time, yeah, it's pretty much.
Why I have
Hey, what's
no
up, Grogu?
idea.
Grogu, pretty cool. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Hey guys, want to let you know that I really love the channel and the great conversations you have. We have great conversations, Salty.
That's first time for everything.
It's a true story.
So yeah, here's the. Oh man, open image, new tab. You're gonna love this. So, all right.
Is this the screen? I got you. Let me take care of it for you.
All right. So,
Sorry, I have my camera in the way. There we are. Come on, get over there. Get over there.
No.
Oh my God, this thing is so difficult to navigate. There you go.
All right,
All right, what am I
so
looking at?
there's the beautiful Hugh Jackman, right?
Okay. Interesting. Again, none of this has context for me, so it looks like someone.
No, that's the whole gag for that
I've
scene.
never
though.
seen. No, I know. I've never seen the movie to know what we're looking at, what we're talking.
Yeah,
about.
the scene is completely
You
and
have me at
utterly.
a,
It's
you have me at a
basic.
disadvantage because like you're making an argument that I can't defend.
Oh, I know. That particular scene is just this girl's going on a blind date with Hugh Jackman, and she's all excited because he looks so great, but then he has testicles hanging from his chin.
I mean, it's making you laugh now, so I mean, clearly.
I'm laughing at how bad it is because there's no.
Is it laugh? Is it bad if you're laughing? I feel like that's.
Yeah, it's.
I feel like the laugh is
it's
the
a
laugh. I don't
Cringe
know.
laugh.
I've never seen it before.
It's kind of like when you
Now,
laugh.
now this guy's like, what?
Yep, that's a real thing.
I have no clue what's going on right now with that. That's like, okay.
You know.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up to see what we're talking to be able to know more about it. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So.
Melphis.
Well, you should watch it sometime. You and the wife can sit down and snuggle up to each other on the couch and watch movies.
Yeah, movie 43.
And see if she ever strokes your chin again.
So that's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I understand. Gunn has made some good movies. However, being a good director and being a studio head are two different jobs.
Yeah, that's why he's got a partner who does the studio heading part. Literally,
Well,
Gunn
it's
is
not like
creative.
he's just going to direct every DC film.
No, but he's the creative CEO. Peter Safran is the actual.
Well, and I hope it works. I do. Okay, but
It's the same thing that DC Creative has done for their comics, which is why their comics have been actually leading Marvel for quite a while.
Well, that doesn't take much considering Marvel is just. I mean, Marvel Comics seems like political propaganda more than anything else.
Probably, I'll go with that.
I mean, I literally saw a panel of Captain Marvel flying over, talking about how she was going to fight the patriarchy. So I was like,
It seems
yeah,
valid.
yeah.
It seems super valid.
So so I'm hoping that Marvel Studios can put
Oh God, Babylon 5 had a lower budget and it looked better than that. Hang on, time out. Babylon 5 had an excellent story. There is nothing about Babylon 5 that looked better than that. And by that I just mean at least it looked like a scrotum on his chin. Babylon 5 looked like somebody was like, we have to go out and do the thing. Quick, whip your PlayStation controller out, record this really bad CGI. It was terrible.
Hey, quick, go to the costume store, buy some vampire teeth and lots of hairspray. I got a great idea for an alien.
That's exactly right. Yes. The story's amazing, by the way. So, the Trucker, Mr. Know-It-All, if they ever did a Mork and Mindy reboot, who do you think should play the main character? Oh! Let's go.
Oh man! Well, you see, the problem is, I think the honest choice for Mork is no longer acting, and that would be Jim Carrey.
Well, that was okay. That was back in the day. And who could pull it off? Who could pull it off today, though?
I'm trying to think of a comedic actor, huh?
Is there a comedic actor who could do it today?
That's the thing. I can't think of a comedic actor today that has that level of insanity. Now, granted, Robin Williams was hopped up on a lot of cocaine back then. So, and I mean, true story. He was. That's one of the reasons he was so hyper all the time. However, that being said, what I would probably do is look for a stand-up comedian to play the role.
Well, and that makes sense. I feel like that tracks.
Yeah. So you find a high energy stand-up comic.
Okay. So right now, I'm looking online and I'm looking at some of the current actors today. I think Bill Hader could pull it off. Funny enough, I think Andy Samberg could really pull it off.
I don't know. I think Bill Hader would be better at it than Andy Samberg.
No, absolutely, but I think those two have the highest.
Bill Hader, I'm not entirely convinced isn't an alien.
As
So
for Mindy, I think Anna Kendrick's a good choice. I feel like Florence Pugh could pull it off. Rachel Brosnahan, who's currently playing Lois Lane, could pull it off. Um,
honestly, Mindy is the straight man of the duo. So as long as you have a competent actress, then I think that almost any good actress could play the part of Mindy.
Daniel
And,
says
and I'm not saying
finally.
that to disrespect Pam Dauber. I'm
Daniel
just
says, Daniel Stan says, finally I did it. I saw the final episode of Discovery. I got through it all. It was touch and go there for a while, but I'm fine. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Good for you, sir. Completionist, you have completed your job. Enter into thy rest. Because it's like, good for you. That's awesome.
and now you can just sit back and relax until Star Trek Academy comes out.
Whoop, whoop. Let's go. Oh, Victor, good for you. Victor says Sarah Sherman from SNL, gender flip it. Yeah,
Which one is
that
Sarah
would be
Sherman?
today. That would totally be what they would do today. You're right. He's dead right. That's how they would handle that.
Yeah, I would not want to see a female Mork.
My thing is, would they faithfully adapt the costume, which itself was ripped off of something else, like with the silver triangle one, which was clearly, those of you who are old school sci-fi fans know that was a borrowed costume from something else entirely.
I don't know whether they would faithfully reproduce the costume. I would say probably not.
Or they would do you think they would at least do like red and the silver chest?
I don't know. You see, that's the problem is that, and this goes back to kind of I was talking about with the franchise issues, is part of the problem, especially with classic franchises like
Sure.
Star Trek, Star Wars, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
is that every new director, new producer that comes onto the scene wants to make it their own.
And what's funny is they're usually, so there's only two kinds of directors that do the kind of directors like we've seen with Star Wars who are like, I'm familiar with the original, but we're going a different way entirely. And then there's the kind who are like, hardcore fan, has to be exact. And you're like, dude, chill out. Because like, I want to make it a period piece in the 80s. I want him to have rainbow suspenders. And you're like, time out. That was a specifically Robin Williams thing. So I don't know. We gotta go. I don't know if that was Mork as much as it was Robin.
No, that was just Robin Williams.
Yeah, I was like, I think you don't have to go 100% there. Okay, you could kind of.
I mean, half of Mork and Mindy was Robin Williams just doing his Robin Williams stand up.
I think right, and I think Victor's dead right. He says Mork and Mindy though worked 1,000,000% because it was Robin Williams doing the shtick. I couldn't agree more with that. I absolutely think you are correct. I think he, by force of his will, everybody was like, "Oh, the show is good," and it's like, yeah, because Robin was doing his thing.
But what they'll
Guarantee you, every day they spun and were like, "Just do your thing, sir. We'll talk. The other actors will work with around you."
But you see, here, who owns Mork and Mindy? What network was that on?
It wasn't ABC, was it? No, it was. That's a great question.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my miniature Targ keeps getting in my way here.
Why does that always thing?
Because it's ABC.
See, that's what I thought. Because remember, there wasn't a lot of choices back then.
So it's a Disney property. Okay, so that pretty much settles it. Here's what Mork and Mindy is going to be. We're going to cast Brie Larson as Mork, and Brie Larson is going to be playing the poor victim of her planet's patriarchy and how she was brutally raped over and over and over and then exiled to Earth. And
Real quick,
Mandy...
why? What are you talking about?
Mandy is the homosexual man who finds her and brings her in, and the two of them try to reshape the world so that toxic masculinity is no longer a problem. And of course, it's a drama. It's a 1-hour drama.
Okay, that's kind of like the Fresh Prince reboot.
Huh?
The Fresh Prince reboot. It was a drama.
Oh, yeah, I never saw it. As soon as I heard about it, I was like... the first time I saw a trailer for it, I thought it was like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
It was fun as somebody's, oh, cool, what a neat concept video that got Will Smith interested in producing it, and now it's a thing. And I think they're into like their third season or something.
Wow, it's still
They're
going.
essentially doing all of the all of the big story plot points they're doing as actual dramatic beats now.
Yeah, Malfeas, I think Jim Carrey could definitely be a good Mork, but Jim Carrey's retired from acting.
Yeah, he's literally in his like late 60s at this point.
And it's not even his age. He got tired of the politics of show business. So,
Yeah.
but besides that, it's an ABC property, and so
Right.
if we're to believe anything that people tell us on the internet about Disney, then that would mean that the way I described it is much more likely going to happen.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. I think it's exactly right.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So, and in fact,
Seriously,
I think Mandy will actually not be a gay man. I think it'll be a non-binary, them, they.
Situation?
Yes,
I can totally see that.
yes. That way they'll be a, will they, won't they, even though you don't want them to.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? We're finally going to get another Marvel versus DC. A 2-part comic is coming out toward the end of the year. It's Marvel and DC again working together to come out. It's being.
Are they going to work together to purge the world of toxic masculinity?
They haven't written. Wow, you're on a run today. They haven't written the. They haven't told us who's writing it and who's drawing it yet, but they've definitely announced it's happening. It's the first crossover event they've done in, I think, almost 20 years.
You see, I have to say things like that, Mr. Know-It-All, because tomorrow everybody's going to be accusing me of being a soft liberal.
I can't imagine why they would think that. I know I don't have any. Why would I have any reason to think something like that? I'm not spreading that rumor, I promise.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody has valid reasons for thinking such a thing. Trust me. Don't worry, Santa Core. We're good. By the way,
Core?
they are beautiful locks of hair going on. By the way, I think it's the red. The red is what makes this doing the Santa thing. That's what.
Okay.
The red with the hair and the beard, I think, is the only reason why everyone's saying that. I said the Klingon thing because you got this really artfully set up, and you literally look like any minute now you're just gonna lift that metal Klingon thing and call the meeting to order. Like I swear, it looks good. It looks good. Hey, what's going on, Aravic? Aravic, what did you think of your segment, man? I'd love to know. I literally paused as if he was going to start talking. I don't know.
Yeah, like, okay.
He's just going to start. Aravic's going to, out of nowhere, have a microphone and just start talking.
If only you had ready for the clip where he says the quantum hole plating.
It was good, though. No, it was so good. And especially when you showed Dude, I was like, that was so artfully done. I was like, that was chef's kiss, the talent. It was awesome. Aravic said you got the seal of approval.
But it was way too much work for what it was. I mean, especially since I went back and redid it even after I showed you. Because you might not have noticed because you only saw it the one time before, but I used a completely different audio clip for Quantum.
Oh, did you?
Yes. I found one where it sounded better. Because the first time it was like, and polarized the quantum hole plating, and so I found one that was a lot closer. So
that's awesome. Robert, there's always a possibility. Always a possibility. He says it's just too bad we never got Tony Stark's brother in the MCU, which the comics say is more intelligent than Tony is.
Oh yeah, because there's always somebody more intelligent.
Sure.
When you go back to that conversation, Reed Richards is the most intelligent.
Melfi's, it's Disney's Mork will be non-binary and played by Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer. Never mind. I have
Amy Schumer will play both Mork and Mindy.
I have PTSD because my ex-wife loved Amy Schumer.
I thought she was funny before she got all weird.
She was funny, and then she got weird. You're right. You're dead right.
You know when she was funny? When she was dating Anthony Jeselnik.
You are right, sir.
And the funny thing is, Anthony Jeselnik is like the very definition of toxic masculinity. That's his whole shtick.
No, agreed.
Yeah, and I did love
Aravic says your audio sounded seamless. It sounded like that's what they when they cut the scene.
Yeah.
You know, season 6. That's how they did it in season 6.
No, that was actually it was if you look carefully, I added a credit at the bottom. It's season 7, episode 3, Into the Frying Pan. That's the name of that episode.
That's great. No, it's good. It's very, very good. Yeah, man. No, it's good stuff. If you guys haven't checked it out, you need to definitely go check out Salty's reviews. Salty's been reviewing Section 31 still because you know what? There's a lot of ground to cover, and he goes.
Oh, by the way, I am now. If you watch the entire playlist,
yeah,
my Section 31 review is now the same length as Section 31. And I'm only a third of the way through it.
Yeah, you only feel like the first third. I told you, I was like, you're going to be doing this all year. You're going to be doing this whole thing all year.
Yeah.
What about the actor that played Shazam? Oh, you're talking about Levy.
I'm playing Shazam. You didn't know that?
No, the guy. He's talking about for Mork and Mindy probably. What about you get him? The guy who played Shazam. I can totally see that.
Oh, Zachary Levi.
Yeah, I can totally see him playing Mork.
I could see that, but I'm playing Shazam.
In that version. That's the version you just described. He'd have to be the straight person, and you'd have the alien be.
Yeah, he would be Mandy.
Right. Man spelled Mandy. I get what you did there. I love it.
Let's see.
Who could play? I'm trying to think who would be able to play a really good.
Is it this one? Hold on, I'm looking for something just for you.
If you guys have an opportunity, though, while he's looking for that, do me a favor, check out on the Mr. Know-It-All channel. It's I did my season long or the end of the review for Spider-Man, and I did a brand new intro with a song, and I did some really neat, new, interesting effect things. I'd love to kind of get everybody's thoughts on that. So when you get a second, go check out the my review. It's not very long. It's only about 10 minutes, but it encapsulates my opinions on the tail end of the series and wanting to kind of know what you guys thought of that. Also, Mrs. Know-It-All and I did a review, which is coming out later today, for Reacher season 3, the beginning season premiere rather of season 3.
All right, so here's what we got to do, because we need to get your live reaction to this. Because when I said I'm playing Shazam in the new movie, I wasn't kidding. I did a screen test and everything with Gunn. But if you're looking at the screen, then they won't get the live reaction. So you need to like cover your eyes or close your eyes or something while I add it to the screen.
Is that right? Okay, fine.
All right, so let's go to what?
Don't forget to go to layers and move the logo. That's like I am so OCD with that logo. No idea. So when you did last time, the logo was in the middle, and I'm like, oh, that's why I clicked it over. It's terrible. Ignore me. Just ignore me.
All right.
Let me know what I can look up. I feel like everyone's like, are we really watching a man cover his eyes on the internet?
Yes, it's kind of
where
funny.
You can see the thing.
It will be worth it. I promise.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, they can see it now. Whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
What? See it, the logo. Leave it there. Boom, boom, boom. I'll put the logo right now. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's the best. That is the greatest thing ever. What did you use for that? That looks so good.
I don't even remember. I was it's down in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have had so much issues with that one. So good. You did good. You got it good. Oh my God, that looks crazy. How did you do that so fast?
No, I did that like months ago, and I just
really.
Yes, it's been sitting in my downloaded folder forever.
It looks good. That was awesome. I love that so much. And you just were ready. You're like, you know what? This is the perfect time to bring this out.
Well, we were talking about Gunn's DCU, so
yes.
this is coming soon to the DCU.
That's hilarious.
Is Shazam like you've never seen him before.
No, for real. That's awesome, bro. Oh my God, I love that so much. That looks great.
So so what do you think? T'Pring obviously is going to be in the movie as well. So
clearly, no, no, totally. There you go. I love to find out what everybody thought about that for real because that was good. Oh my god, no, that was awesome. I love that so much. That's almost the way we did. That's how you and I did our ring thing in the opening intro
Oh yeah, yeah.
of our thing. Whatever, you need to go make a better. Now that I know you have capabilities, go make some better stuff, man. Go put you and me in a thing.
Do you know how hard it was for me to
The
just
problem
get?
is the AIs don't. It's funny. I've done stuff based on Mrs. Know It All that I've experimented with, stuff and Baby Know It All. Whenever I put myself in, it always wants to just make me a black guy with that doesn't look anything like me. Seriously, because I'm more Puerto Rican than black, so I don't have that like.
Well, you know, I think that the algorithm just says, "Oh, all black guys look alike," so they just kind of
Literally,
take your basic.
even the
features.
AI is racist. The AI is like, sure, whatever. Well, it's funny. So it actually, there's one. I need to show it to you. There's one I was experimenting with. Matter of fact, you know what? While we're all just playing around with this stuff, let me show you the one because it was absolutely in it. My wife, we did one, and it made her look black, and I was like, what is going on here? What is this thing? What did this do? It was very, very odd. It was a very odd choice of stuff that they did. And again, AI is good to a point. Like I do some fun things with it, but at the same time, I constantly find myself going, "What is happening here? Like, why did this do this?" So, like, you've had tons of success with the music stuff, which I thought was awesome.
Well, that's because I don't use AI generated lyrics.
No, and I think you're right. I think it's exactly why your
Yeah.
stuff is really good because you're using you're taking the time to write the lyrics. You're a very talented writer. People don't understand that.
And yeah, Robert, I remember Jolene on SG1.
I thought it was interesting that she. So, did you see the article about her being on lower decks? They approached her, were very respectful. She listened to them, and then she said, "Hey, is there any way I can just be credited as Jolene?" And because she was talking positively, they're like, "Yeah, whatever you want. Are you going to be on this? We don't care. Jolene, fine. We're not going to ask questions." And I was like, "Okay, good for you." I wonder what that. I do wonder. I find myself wondering, well, what was that even about?
Well, is her last name different or something?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. It'd be interesting to find out, like if there was a motivation behind that.
Or maybe it's because, she's had relations with people at CBS that, she doesn't want them to know that she was doing something. I don't
So
know.
here's what. Okay, I found it. I found it finally. Let me open
Okay.
up our thing. I'll upload the thing because I really want to show. Since we're showing some things, I'm like, look, let me take a look at this briefly. It is where are you? Right here. Found it. I will add it to the thing and then do this. Yeah, and you should be able to see it right now. And it's like, what is that? So right here, I swear, it made her.
Yeah, what's with her hair?
It made her mixed, but because she had her hair done in the I used a picture. So Kling AI will let you put PNGs of people, and then it represents them. So here's one of the ones it did, and it's got Mrs. Know It All looking like
And you look like Urkel.
right. I'm very. It's very, and it even has her wearing the shirt because that's the picture I used. And the reason she's got this on is because she was wearing a vest that had, and for some reason it made it like this weird strappy thing. And I'm like, yeah, no, for sure. It's very, very awkward.
Well, that's where AI is just weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's hit or miss, and you get some really good.
Although
stuff.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Like, if you're doing some kind of AI system that generates videos of people, why is it that suddenly people have 17 fingers on one hand? Because it's not like you can't predefine that humans normally have 5 fingers.
According to Stan Lee, we need to do an extra hour because he just now got the note. He didn't get the notice. Just now joined us.
Well, Stan, did you see my brilliant debut as Captain Marvel, or I'm sorry, Shazam?
Oh my God, that was a brilliant one.
Um,
Just so real quick, so Robert said just to too bad Stargate Atlantis didn't continue. Seems like no new Stargate series is going to be made anytime soon. You are correct. However, the people who own Stargate are in fact currently exploring development of either a new rebooted series, which would not a requel series, which would continue the original SG-1 storyline, a little updated for today's font and designs, or another movie franchise, which would continue the original movie with kind of tangential touchings in on the series. So we would still get they can go anywhere in the known galaxy or whatever exploration, but it would be a little different. I don't know. So it's a very good question to find out what they end up coming up with. I know there's a guy online that I follow on the X who was one of the original writers on for Stargate, and he's been asked several times if he had knew anything about it, and he's like, no, he had no clue that they were even talking. So I think that's just kind of in the early stages of exploration at the moment. So you could very well get more Stargate in the future, my friend. Don't know when, but I know it's being worked on. Someone's talking about it because we can't leave franchises alone anymore. Because you're leaving money on the table, baby.
Well, I think that. But okay, so again, getting to the same problems. If you did I think that Stargate, if you're gonna bring back Stargate, reboot it. I think that a lot of time has gone by since the last Stargate installment, so and it's not like you're going to get the original cast back.
No,
So,
because poor Henry, what's his face, MacGyver looks rough these days.
right. So I would just say so. Reboot the whole franchise, but here's the tricky part: don't make it dark and gritty and
Everything's dark and gritty.
But that's why everything's failing.
The problem is we've already seen the other version. Otherwise, all you're giving is the same thing. But then again, that's why people like the Orville, because it felt exactly like
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And Picard and them,
Orville worked not because. Yeah, I don't think Orville worked because it was particularly good, because I don't think it was particularly good. I think it had the right tone, at least the first two seasons. And because the tone felt very TNG. But when you look at the problem, like with Star Trek, what's wrong with Star Trek? Because it's all dark and gritty and depressing, and the Federation is bad now, and everything is horrible. And
Stanley says Stargate and Farscape. Some people seem to love them, but I just haven't been able to get into them. I loved Farscape. I thought Farscape was unique. I also am a big puppet fan, so that's why. And a lot of their aliens were animatronic or puppet, so it was interesting for me. I liked they were telling stories that I hadn't really seen anywhere else before at the time. Random Menace says Stargate with the OG cast exploring nursing homes around the galaxy. Let's go. I can totally see that. That's hilarious. That's funny. That's funny.
and like I said, I don't. Yeah, just like same thing I've said. Let's just call Strange New Worlds a reboot of Star Trek, and put everything else behind us. Because they, with Discovery, and the funny thing is, it's like Discovery doesn't fit into the rest of Star Trek canon, but then they tried to make it so that Discovery bookends Trek, so it's at the beginning and the end of Trek.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to work all that out. Victor says all the off-brand syndicated sci-fi from the 90s was unwatchable. Victor. Now, and I love you, by the way. You say that, but that is what ultimately spelled the end of Star Trek, because you had Sci-Fi Channel pop up, and you had all the Canadian shows, which you had your Warehouse 13 and your Eurekas and all these things that suddenly came out, saturating the science fiction market. And little by little, nobody had time for even Star Trek, then Stargate. Nobody had time for it. Babylon 5, people watched a little bit, consumed, but like you had your Power Pack show, which was your Xena, Hercules, Andromeda, and all that nonsense. And little by little, everything became, there's so much out there to watch. What are you going to do? What were you going to watch? So yeah, I'm with you, by the way. I am with you. They were definitely what was it? They were soda pop and candy to the Star Trek meat and potatoes. It was a very different set of things, and I think that's probably what gave way to a lot of the sci-fi we deal with today, which is just essentially it's Godiva chocolate to the candy. That's all, but there's still candy. There's no real substance other than the fact it tastes good.
Well, but I don't even know that, because honestly, what they're creating now is they're putting a lot of money into the visuals. They're putting a decent amount of money into actors and into acting coaches and stuff like that, but they're putting no effort whatsoever into writing.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go
and
with that.
and so we have like with my problem with Discovery. Um, even though it's a little jarring to see all these ships that were supposedly before
Oh,
Kirk's era that had way too advanced attack.
sure.
But at the same time, what really was jarring to me was the fact that it was written by a bunch of people that wrote Gilmore Girls, and
Robert
I'm
says,
not saying that as a derogative. That's
no, I got
literally
you.
what their last job was.
Robert says Dust has some very good fan made short sci-fi episodes that could be turned into a new series. So I kind of agree. I know two of the guys who made stuff on there. Dust is brilliant, by the way. If you like short form with no connection to anything else, they're brilliant. Those things have actually inspired a lot of things that I work on from time to time. And one guy tried and had actually someone interested. It was one of the higher ones that they've had success with on their in their stuff, and he tried very hard to get something made, and the network nobody could make it work. It just because it's like Saturday Night Live. You have things that are one joke, one note, and then things that eventually could be made into a thing where you have, and they couldn't really get past the initial story. And like, well, what else happens other than this? And it's like, well, I don't know what else. So it ended up falling through.
That's why
So
most Saturday Night Live movies fail miserably.
agreed. Victor Giovanni says everything at least has a veneer of serialized story. That's my preferred method of TV storytelling, but only when it's good. So much sci-fi today is empty serialization. I'll go with that.
Well, not just sci-fi TV, but almost everything nowadays. It's just as far as streaming stuff. I don't even watch broadcast TV anymore because I don't have cable TV and I
Same.
don't have an antenna on top of my house. So, you know, I stream a few shows, but honestly, if it's not like Marvel, Star Wars, or MCU or Marvel, Star Wars, or Star Trek, I'm probably, unless somebody tells me about it, like, someone mentioned Invincible to me and I started watching that. And somebody else told me about Reacher. So, I did like the first season of Reacher. Um, so
That'd be dope.
unless somebody tells me about a show, but even then it's a streaming show. And even those shows like Reacher is a serialized show.
Well, it's these are so what these are actually correctly doing the thing that we always talk about doing.
Yeah, they're books.
They're taking the book material and they're making it serialized rather than trying to cram it all into a movie, or vice versa, turning a one movie into a series badly. So they're like, you know what, we're just going to give it 8, 9, 10 episodes. You'll get the majority of the story of the book, and everyone will be happy. And that's what's happening, and it's good. And right now, it's funny. Prime. It's so funny because as much as I bash things like Rings of Power, the truth is Wheel of Time is doing amazing work. Reacher, the Jack Ryan series, those were amazing. Those are
Rings of
amazing
Power.
shows. Rings of Power is trash. But otherwise, like they're doing a really good job. Well, no, hold on, time out. The story may be trash. Visually, it is stunning to me, and I'm willing to say the same way I say Ryan Johnson's movie is executed at a wonderfully high level. The CGI is awesome. The cinematography is awesome. The filmmaking is brilliant. Everything looks great. The story is garbage. Doesn't give you any good. Is not Star Wars in any way, shape, or form. And then it proceeds to sit there and gut your stuff. Now, same thing with Rings of Power. Rings of Power looks gorgeous. I will never argue with the fact that it is well constructed. They know how to film a show. I just think the story's trash. But otherwise, like Amazon's doing a good job. Yep. Now Amazon has James Bond. People want to talk garbage about
Which
that.
a lot of people don't realize they're going to create the James Bond Tolkien cinematic universe.
I see. My problem is, I feel like that. I'm glad you like it, Aravic. I'm glad anybody likes anything, and I'm not going to trash you for liking it. I watched 3 episodes and never went back to it, not because I hated it, but because I just didn't see a reason to. I got busy with other stuff that was more important because the show never hooked me in.
So
Not to mention the fact that I do know the history, and seeing them invent a history that has zero connection to the actual universe that Tolkien created kind of annoys me. All because of the copyright issues. What are you going to do?
So I got to say to Robert though that he said no, the Coneheads movie I've never seen. So I don't know if it's any.
By the
good.
way, no. Here's the thing, Robert. Let's be real. That's exactly what that's exactly what Salty's talking about. That whole movie is a series of eating big things, having their big head, and using double entendres. It's essentially
We are from France.
it's a 90-minute long sketch
Yeah.
that gets
And-
old by about minute 45. And you sit here and you
as
go, how
far
much
as
longer is this
I'm
movie?
concerned, Blues Brothers is one of the most overrated films of all time. I think the only reason people think Blues Brothers is a good movie is because John Belushi died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I know that some people might find that offensive, but I think it's true. Just like, look, and I'll say it, I think Heath Ledger's Joker is overrated. I think the only reason people think it's so brilliant is because Heath Ledger died right after doing that.
I thought it was brilliant before he died because I saw it when it opened. I thought it was brilliant because it was a unique take that I felt also still captured and embodied the character of the Joker. Controlled chaos. You didn't try
But
to
he
tell you
wasn't
anything about it.
controlled chaos.
Okay.
He was the most planned out plan guy that just says he doesn't have a plan there's ever been.
Okay.
Really? You're going to sit there and just say, okay.
Well, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here. This is a clickbait argument. Because I'm sorry, I love when people who literally it's like, dude, what did you want? Did you want us to dress up Mark Hamill and say, hey, go do your Joker voice on the movie?
I have no problem with Heath Ledger.
What did you want? Did you want Romero from the old show? Like, what did you want? Because you're so fast to complain, but you don't tell me anything good or what would have made it better.
Okay.
What did you
Don't
want?
make a whole point of the movie that he is an agent of chaos, as you say, where when he's clearly not. He is a very carefully planned. He had to rig up multiple boats with explosives, a hospital with explosives. He had to rig up a man with explosives, all timed to go off and two buildings, warehouses with explosives, all have this stuff wired to go off with perfect precision timing to enact his not plan. And I'm sorry.
You do understand the concept of a movie, right?
Yes.
I'm just making
But-
sure
and it's
because
one thing to
or do you believe like Stan Lee is commenting, which is brilliant? You're right. We needed a scene of Joker researching the local school buses and their routes instead of the badassery scene we got of the close up of a guy holding a mask going into the thing,
Except that
and then things just work out.
You yourself made the statement just a minute ago. Oh, it's controlled chaos. No, he is not. He is a master planner in that movie, but they bill him as controlled chaos. It makes no sense. Now look, it's not the fact that he's different.
You're absolutely
from
right
other
because
Jokers.
you're absolutely right because everybody on his crew knew he was going to betray them. Because the guy who got hit by the bus, look, you can sit here and call anything you want. At the end of the day, the people involved in the moment didn't know what to expect. The mobsters walking when he walks in didn't know what to expect.
Sure, he
you
was
can argue the
unpredictable.
plan. That's controlled chaos.
No, that's just being
Controlled.
unpredictable.
What you're calling the plan? Oh my God! You want to have a semantic argument? Jesus, you are the saltiest.
No, you're saying
You're just sitting here going like at the end of the day. I feel like
you're fading out.
controlled chaos.
You completely faded out for a minute.
Anyway, I'm still talking about the fact that he wants to do chaos. It's not the same thing as there's a meticulous planner. Okay, the point of the movie is also.
Is it just me, or can you guys understand him? Because I can't. You sound like you're underwater. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm being serious.
No, of course not. That just comes naturally.
Okay, there, Victor. See, no, Victor said you were muffled.
Probably because I hit something. Either
Yeah.
way.
All right, so there, you're clear now. So go ahead, start your rant.
At the end of the day, we are sitting here trying to make an argument, but here's the one thing that everyone fails to realize. Every single movie is contrived. By that I mean it is all of the relevant moments in a situation's existence that add up to plot and whatever else. It is a specific series of events, but the controlled chaos part, he is an agent of chaos. You're taking it to mean he's an agent of chaos and that he just goes boop and something happens. No, the chaos is that Batman couldn't plan for whatever he was going to do. The police couldn't plan for what he was going to do. The mob couldn't plan for what he was going to do because he got the mob guys to give him money. And then what did he do? Burned it to the ground. Plan or not, that's chaos. So this, you want to have a semantic argument about whether it was chaos or planning. You're misinterpreting the meaning of chaos. He caused chaos among people. Not that he was Daffy Duck. Anything could happen. That's not at all what he said. That's Mixospitalik.
Actually, that is what he said. Character. That's my problem with it.
That's what he told people because that's what he was trying to convey.
When you talk to most people that are fans of that movie, they walk out of that movie thinking that's what he is. They believed him when he was talking to Dent, saying, "Do I look like the kind of guy that has a plan?" People. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that The Dark Knight is a bad movie. I think it's an overrated movie, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I think that, Heath Ledger's Joker just comes across to me as he's practically Hans Gruber. He's just wearing clown makeup and as a bit of an anarchist. But as far as the insane and I get you, I know movies require a certain level of contrivance or else they don't work. Why is it that the main character of the movie just happens to be the guy involved in the story? Because he's the main character.
Correct.
I mean, I get that. However, when you look at he would have had to, and again, I'm not saying this should have been the movie, but he would have had to have spent months, if not years, planning out all the various things that happened in that movie that he carefully coordinated, and some of it doesn't even make sense that he could have planned. Like the fact that he could time the exact time from when Batman and Gordon leave the police office to when we would get to the two different locations to have the bombs go off.
Real quick, how hard is that to actually figure out? For instance, first off, you start with your base time. Distance from A to B, regardless. Now you set up distance from A, B, and C. So everybody has to go a certain speed. Next, you figure out on average, Batman responds to something in this kind of a time frame, or police in that kind of a time frame. They do it all the time in, let's say, movies, which is you just sit here and say, hey, the police have a response time of usually about 4 minutes, something to that effect. Those are not off the wall Ocean's 11 level of to me. Ocean's 11 is far more contrived that they plan for a thing than this was.
I'm not defending Ocean's 11.
But I'm saying like those heisty type movie things do the exact same thing, but we don't care. Why? Because they're heist movies. It's supposed to be
with a heist movie. The plan is the whole point.
Stanley says Joker had Google Maps.
I don't think Google Maps are that accurate. God. No, but you think about it.
This is fair. ABJ says, I'm down on the movie because I can't get into the story of nihilists, and also I loathe the Machina solution of universal survey device. Fine. I get that. Apple TV's new The Gorge, mediocre but entertaining. Thank you, Random Menace. I actually want to watch that. I'm going to watch that today. And Miss Me and Mrs. Nola are going to do a review about it tomorrow. But anyways, go back. I'm sorry, go back. I just want to make sure that we didn't lose the chat.
To your point, as far as, okay, so understanding police response time, fine. But he had to calculate the time it would take not only for Batman to capture him, but for him to be taken and what location he'd be taken to. The amount of time before the processing and that Batman would actually show up for the interrogation.
So here's my biggest problem with this. You want to argue for the elements that I sit here and consider to be actual movie contrivances. Now, like we just stated. However, there's actual problems with the movie. I'll tell you an actual problem with the movie. Okay. There is no remote detonator that can be fit in your hand that would actually go as far without having some sort of an actual connection to the internet, Wi-Fi, something bigger than just the clicking thumb trigger that would go that distance. That's a technical issue.
You're talking about in the hospital?
No, no. I'm talking about when he's hanging upside down and they've got the boats about to explode and he tries to set it off himself. He's like, well, they're not going to do it. I'll do it myself. There's no remote radio that would go that far, that distance into a handheld dead man switch. That is a technical impossibility and problem that I have with the movie, though others might argue that's a contrivance. And I'm like, no, that's a literal, that's a factual How
And
did
that I
he?
don't remember. I mean, I remember
Because
saying,
he was gonna set them off, but then they ended up throwing them out.
well, I remember
Joker
the
has
two
tech for
dudes through,
decades.
huh?
Joker has had tech for decades. Victor says
Well, in the comics, yes, he has.
that's true.
Um, um,
Oh yeah, the other Stanley, you're absolutely correct. And the bat signal would never work and be visible. Literally, it would be
not
so
just, yeah,
difficult.
not just painting a bat onto a spotlight. You're absolutely
Not
right.
without illuminating the entire street around it as if
Yeah,
it were daylight.
yeah,
Like there's no way that thing would be
yeah.
powerful
The bat
enough.
signal would definitely not work. Um, but you see, I'll, like that one, like, okay, so for the bat signal, I give that one a pass because bat signal has been an iconic part of Batman from the beginning.
Fair. That's fair.
And so, but when I think about the Joker's planning, it's just, to me, it's like, how did he get access to two different ferries and know where they were going to be and know that one of them was going to have convicts and the other one was going to have good people on it, and all that stuff just does not add up. Now, granted, I know I tend to be overly analytical. And so for people that could just emotionally get involved in the movie and the characters and stuff, that's perfect. But for someone like me, I'm just like, it's breaking my brain trying to follow this movie.
Victor says the giant dinosaur taxidermy would rot in the damp bat cave in weeks.
That's true too. Yes.
Yes,
Not
sir.
to mention, here's what I want to. How did Batman get the 50-foot coin into the
Right?
You know?
You show me where that entrance is that he could just bring
Yeah.
that bad boy in.
Yeah,
He
that
wasn't
doesn't
bringing it down the well.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce Wayne just happens to have gotten the coin at Wayne Manor, and then he cut a hole in the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. No, I hear you. I do hear you.
So I think that Dark
reminds me of
Knight.
when you try to talk about some directors that are overrated, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Well, directors that I think are over. I think one of the most overrated directors is James Cameron.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like and my argument is always is overrated if it's true, like if he's doing the things.
Well, hold on. Well, overrated to me is, now keep in mind, overrated by definition would be successful.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so it means
Like,
that
I'm not
he's
saying
more.
it ain't successful.
Right. I'm certainly not arguing against success. I'm saying that his movies aren't so good that they should have made the money they've made. Like I in no way, like, the Avatar films, visually beautiful. From a story wise, they do not bring anything new.
No, it's very much. It's just you've dressed up in glorious manner a very old story. I
Right.
would argue that's part of that's the thing you're calling overrated. That's it. If you can take something that exists and make everyone and do billions of dollars on it, homie, that's
Amazing
good.
thing to me though is
That's
that people
talent.
people people saw through it when it first came out. I mean, a lot of people were saying this is just Dances with Wolves and The Last Samurai and stuff in space. However, now and I, quite frankly, I don't particularly care for the white savior type of film, so
Sure.
that might be part of my problem with the Avatar films. When it comes to Titanic, oh my God, what a bloated piece of crap! And the only good thing about it was the fact that we got to watch the ship sink. I'm sorry, that movie sucked.
You didn't like seeing Billy Zane running through a boat with carrying a pistol, trying to kill.
No,
by the way, the one thing I hate about that movie, there's nothing about Leonardo DiCaprio that says he is a young man from that era. He looks, from his hair flipped over to the side in a very modern style to the way his horrible accent is just horrible. Yeah, I don't.
And okay, and I know I'm going to piss off everybody in the room right now. Terminator 2, come on.
Get out.
Terminator 2.
Get out.
It's
right
just,
now.
It's just Terminator again. That's what it should be called. It should be called Terminator again.
No, it's not, because Arnold is
liquid.
Arnold is the good guy. So you're wrong.
Which, by the way, he was originally going to be the good guy in the first film. So
it's actually very true. No, that's 100% true. I can't argue that.
I honestly like the first Terminator better. I think the first Terminator is a better film.
The first Terminator is a brilliant. It's kind of mediocre sci-fi, but it's a brilliant. Like it's tense, very
It's a horror
tense.
film.
Yeah, I would go. I
It
wasn't
is.
sure I would go that far,
The
but
only
yeah,
difference
that's
is
fair.
instead of Jason or Michael Myers, it's a robot. But it really is just a.
Victor says we can go ahead and end the podcast early now. Victor, by the way, Victor, thank you for not leaving. Victor's the guy he had a hard time with the fact that we traditionally do the closing the way we do. Just because, again, it's, by the way, that predates me, but I continued the tradition because it is a Nerd Fights tradition.
Yes.
So it's something that him and Danny were doing forever. I was like, you know what?